When the world thinks of stadiums, the images that come to mind are usually concrete giants, gleaming steel frames, and billion-dollar investments, often tied to corporate sponsorships or foreign loans. Yet, in the heart of West Africa, something unprecedented is unfolding. Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Ibrahim Traoré, has embarked on a revolutionary project, the construction of the world's first free bamboo stadiums. These are not only a triumph of engineering and sustainability, but also a profound symbol of African self-determination, innovation, and cultural pride. This initiative has not only shocked skeptics around the globe, but has also reignited conversations about what development in Africa could truly look like when it emerges from indigenous creativity. Rather than imported models, the story begins with a simple question that Traoré reportedly asked his advisors. Why must Africa always depend on imported steel, foreign contractors, and billion-dollar debts just to build public infrastructure? Why must Africa's stadiums, schools, and arenas come at the price of sovereignty, saddling nations with crippling debt to international financial institutions? Instead of repeating the cycle, Traoré turned to something Burkina Faso has in abundance: bamboo. Often dismissed as nothing more than a rural building material or even a weed, bamboo is in fact one of the strongest, most flexible, and most renewable construction resources in the world. By mobilizing local communities, engineers, and young architects, Burkina Faso has proven that it can take what the world calls ordinary and transform it into extraordinary. The stadium project was designed with multiple ambitions. First, it had to provide free access to ordinary Burkinabe citizens. In most parts of the world, stadiums are built for profit. Ticket sales, VIP boxes, and corporate sponsorships dominate. Here, the model was flipped. These bamboo stadiums are built not for profit, but for people. They serve as open community centers where sports, cultural events, educational programs, and civic gatherings can take place. This alone makes them stand out on the global stage, where infrastructure is increasingly privatized. Secondly, the bamboo stadiums embody sustainability. Unlike steel and concrete, which are energy-intensive to produce and harmful to the environment, bamboo regenerates quickly, requires little water, and absorbs more carbon dioxide than most trees. By using bamboo as the primary building material, Burkina Faso has set a precedent in ecological construction. The stadiums are not just structures, they are living ecosystems, harmonizing with the climate, resistant to seismic activity, and adaptable to the local environment. Engineers from universities across Africa have been invited to study and replicate these techniques, creating a new wave of Afrocentric design thinking. The impact on local communities has been immediate. Bamboo harvesting and treatment created thousands of jobs, particularly in rural regions. Farmers who once had little market for bamboo now found their land transformed into a source of wealth. Women's cooperatives became involved in weaving bamboo panels, while local artisans provided traditional finishing touches that blended modern design with Burkinabe heritage. Young engineers trained in new techniques, creating a generation of African builders who are not reliant on Western blueprints, but capable of producing world-class infrastructure with local resources. In a single stroke, the project has combined job creation, cultural preservation, environmental stewardship, and national pride. For Traoré, the stadiums are more than just physical spaces. They are political statements. Each bamboo beam whispers defiance against decades of dependency and control. For too long, African infrastructure projects have been dictated by foreign powers, funded by IMF loans, constructed by multinational corporations, and designed to serve external interests. These stadiums declare something different. Africa can build for itself, using its own materials, for the benefit of its own people. The global reaction has been both astonishment and unease. Western commentators, accustomed to dismissing Africa as backward or dependent, now face the uncomfortable truth that innovation does not only flow from the West to the rest. Perhaps most shocking to observers is the financial model. These stadiums are built debt-free. Rather than seeking loans from international institutions, the Burkinabe government financed them through a combination of resource allocation, public mobilization, and local partnerships. Communities volunteered labor, businesses contributed materials, and the state redirected portions of its defense budget, arguing that true security is not only found in arms, but in unity, culture, and public infrastructure. This reallocation has sparked debates worldwide. While Western leaders questioned the wisdom of diverting funds away from military expenditures, many Africans saw in this decision a bold reimagining of national priorities. The symbolism of free stadiums goes far beyond sports. Across Africa, youth form the largest demographic group, and they often feel excluded from decision-making and opportunity. By creating spaces where young people can gather, play, learn, and organize, Traore is investing in the continent's future. The stadiums double as educational centers, where during non-sporting hours, workshops on agriculture, technology, and entrepreneurship take place. This multi-purpose approach transforms them into engines of development, breaking down the traditional wall between leisure and learning. In the evenings, they become arenas of cultural expression, where music, theater, and traditional performances strengthen community bonds. The bamboo stadiums have also sparked interest from neighboring countries. Delegations from Mali, Niger, and Ghana have already toured the facilities, discussing the possibility of replicating the model. If the idea spreads, it could revolutionize how Africa approaches infrastructure, reducing dependency on external financing while elevating indigenous knowledge. A future where African cities are built with African resources by African hands is no longer a distant dream, but a visible reality. The bamboo stadiums stand as prototypes of that vision, yet not everyone is celebrating. The project has unsettled global economic interests. International construction firms that profit from Africa's dependency see this as a dangerous precedent. If nations learn they can build debt-free and sustainable infrastructure, the multi-billion-dollar industry of foreign contracts could face disruption. Furthermore, the ecological success of bamboo stadiums challenges the narrative that sustainability is a luxury only wealthy nations can afford. It shows that sustainability can be born from necessity, and that Africa, often depicted as a victim of climate change, can lead in the fight against it. The cultural dimension is equally powerful. These stadiums are designed with African aesthetics in mind, incorporating patterns, art, and layouts inspired by Burkinabe traditions. Unlike imported designs that feel alien to local communities, these structures feel familiar and welcoming. They are rooted in the soil of Africa, literally and metaphorically. International media outlets have called them miracle stadiums, but for locals, they are simply a reflection of what Africa can achieve when it believes in itself. The global narrative is beginning to shift. What was once dismissed as impossible now stands as a physical reality. Journalists and analysts are forced to reckon with the fact that innovation is not the exclusive property of wealthy nations. In fact, the very constraints Africa faces, limited budgets, abundant youth, and urgent need for sustainability, may make it the birthplace of the most revolutionary ideas. The bamboo stadiums prove that limitations can be transformed into opportunities. For Traore personally, the success of this project cements his image as a leader not only of Burkina Faso, but of a broader African renaissance. In a world where leaders often chase foreign approval or imitate Western models, he has charted an independent path. This has made him both admired and targeted. His defiance of global powers in favor of local solutions has elevated his standing among ordinary Africans, while simultaneously raising concerns in Western capitals. For many, he embodies the hope that Africa can finally define development on its own terms. The legacy of the bamboo stadiums is still unfolding. They will host sports matches, cultural festivals, and political rallies, becoming living symbols of independence and resilience. Children who play on their fields will grow up with the memory that their country could build something extraordinary without waiting for permission from outside powers. Citizens who gather in their stands will experience firsthand what it means to be part of a nation that invests in its people rather than indebting them. As the sun sets over these bamboo giants, their silhouette stands as more than architecture. They are monuments to a new way of thinking, a declaration that Africa does not need to follow the footprints of others, but can carve its own path. In every sense, the bamboo stadiums represent a turning point. They are proof that development does not have to be imported, that dignity does not have to be borrowed, and that Africa's new era can be built with its own hands, one bamboo beam at a time.